Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Monday, the 14th of March, comes to you from London. And a lot of red on the screen for energy prices this morning. We're seeing crude oil back around 3%, back below the cloud over the last week, so that's really quite key. And we'll come back and we'll look at the energy mix. But a screen of red here generally means a screen of green for other markets. So commodities fall, equities and other markets rise. So we're seeing this sort of almost inverted relationship just going on at the moment. So a lot of green on the screen this morning, especially in stocks. So we'll look at the currencies first of all. Dollar index pushing higher. It's down this morning, but still bullish on the long-term, medium-term and short-term cloud. There's my weekly, daily and 60-minute charts. If we're above the cloud, we're bullish. If we're below, we're bearish. So on the dollar, we are still bullish on all three time frames. The euro is still below that 110 level, and updated clients know that I've been very bearish on the euro. These long-term targets starting to look quite worrying for the euro. We've got a new 1 to 107, which would be a new low. That's the one to watch. But for the moment, we're just recovering a little bit off that 109 level. You can see a little bit of support there. So if that breaks, that would be bad. Against the yen, the dollar is looking very much stronger, and this tends to be a good lead indicator. 117.80. So that's looking strong. We haven't quite activated this 161 target yet, but we have got targets to 118, 126, so it does look like we'll go higher there. Sterling sitting at 130 this morning, so just nudging that 130 level, so that's going to be quite key. And if we look at against the euro, we've fallen back here a bit, with the euro just gaining a little bit of strength, but still the trend is very much up there. Bitcoin sitting at $39,000, so just again looking a little bit weaker short term, just really testing this cloud support on the weekly. If we break below 30,000, and that would deactivate the upside target, so we're going to watch that. The S&P 500 index was down 1.3% on Friday. There's the weekly candle, had a pretty bad week, so still bearish on all three time frames there, and the same with the Nasdaq. We are below there as well. And if we look at the futures, we are up this morning. So the S&P future up 0.75%, the Nasdaq future up 0.5%, suggests the US market will open higher. The VIX volatility is still in the 30s, so the market is still fearful, and we are seeing that sort of trending up. So that is still a little bit of a worry for the markets. Looking at the FTSE future, we're up here this morning. The DAX in Germany up 2.3%. Interesting that we're seeing markets really recovering. This downside target was exceeded. That is bearish confirmation. And of course, we've now put in a low. If we break below that low, 12,500 on the DAX, that would be very bearish. And 15,000 was the support level previously. That will now be resistance. So watch that on the German market. The CAC Quarante is also up this morning, but not anywhere near as strongly as Germany. And if we look at Asian markets, they were mixed. We had the Hang Seng down 5%. So really interesting that we're just seeing a fall off there in Chinese stocks. Reports out that China had been approached by Russia, and fears may be growing that we're seeing some potential sanctions now coming out against China. Looking lower here on the stocks here, so really Chinese stocks now really falling out of bed. So that's quite key as well. We've got one downside target here of 11-12%, so that's quite a lot. The Sensex in India up 1.6%, and again, all these lows are really critical now. If we break these lows, then we're going much lower. The Aussie market up 1.2% as well. Gold sitting at 1965, back below the 2000 level, but the trend is very much up. 2,400 is the target that's activated. So watch for new highs there. US 10-year yield sitting at 2.707%, really recovered, pushed to new highs. 2.2 is really the targets that we're seeing. So even though we had that pullback, we're now pushing higher. Bond yields are very much stronger. Taking a look at the energy mix now. Crude oil, this is a bearish sort of descending triangle pattern. We're below the cloud. We do have downside targets. The key thing is breaking this low, and we're just doing that at the moment. So we are activating a downside target. The same here. So interesting that we're seeing new downside targets emerging for crude oil. It'll be very interesting to see where we find a floor. But for the moment, that's putting us in bearish mode. Bearish today, and we were neutral for the week until we break these triangle lows. But looking like we're going to now. US nat gas also lower. So we're seeing the whole energy mix really falling away. Coal down 2%. The one bucking the trend, of course, is emissions. That's up 4%. Falling energy prices means rising carbon prices. That's what we're seeing at the moment. So quite interesting that we're seeing that pushback. There will be quite strong resistance here. And can we make a higher high, or will we make a lower high? That's going to be the key. Must hold this €60 mark now. Gas prices down 11% this morning on TTF and on NBP. Again, just looking more and more bearish there. Really quite a hard read. We need to find a floor, rebuild a base, and then we can actually start to talk about the trading range. But for the moment, that's quite a challenge. LNG sitting at 37. We did send our weekly report out to clients this morning. No intraday data there, but we are seeing that price falling back as well. German power looking more negative as well, down 5% this morning, looking like a cloud break potentially here. So we are just seeing the energy mix looking lower. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. I'm wearing my Ukrainian sunflower, by the way, the Ukrainian national flower, and I've turned my heating off, just living in a little bit more chilled environment. But basically, we've all got to start decreasing our demand for gas, especially Russian gas. But hang in there. It's going to be a very interesting week. A lot happening in the UK. Interest rate rises. Key numbers out this week. It's going to be quite interesting. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. Bye for now.